Yeah. Just fifthing them up, but don't water it down. We hit a mix it up, but don't water it down. You better get up and don't water it down. When you see it, pick it up and don't water it down. You got that? All right.
Here I am.
Oh.
All right, y'all. This
All right.
is Express Yourself.
Okay.
It is
Ooh,
half
espresso.
espresso martini
Okay.
and half cream coquito.
Ooh.
And Courtney is drinking tea to protect that beautiful voice. So
Let's hope this coquito doesn't send me flying.
It's not gonna. We're not gonna go out to the universe, are we?
no. I think we're gonna be good. I think we'll be good.
I share.
I already took a
Ashe.
sip. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was like, oh, we're supposed to share. Wait.
Together as a family.
This is good. I don't know. I was a bartender, so I don't mind drinking in the morning.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, this is good.
It feels
But
like
I'm proud of you. Good job.
What I did?
Because in New Orleans, people act like they can't not drink in certain settings. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, I have friends that struggle with that.
For real?
Even if they didn't want to drink, when they were in a social setting, they did it because they felt like they were obligated to.
Yeah, I made it through that. That was a rough period.
But nowadays are different. Now you've got different options. You got no options like low ABV, all that stuff. Yeah,
You
no
got
and low.
mocktails. And
Yeah, I love a good mocktail.
now they have like, what do you call it? THC,
Oh,
seltzers.
yes,
and
I enjoy it because I'm like the scientist in the room who's observing everything. You know, so somebody got to be it. That's why I like it.
so you want to be the sober one to watch everybody
He
else.
listens and he judges.
Well,
Heard.
speaking of judging, so the title was revealed for one of the episodes today, which is all about. Well, it's about Florida, but it's a specific topic of Florida.
Pick one.
Have you?
Florida
there's
man,
a lot of
like,
well,
who is
do
it?
we
Are
wanna-
we
where
talking
do we
about
want to
Florida?
start? You know, Al Gore. Do we want to
Yeah.
like? What do you want to go? But in this case, it's about. Have you ever heard of the Saltwater Underground Railroad?
No.
The Saltwater
I know when I get
Underground
surprised y'all for
Railroad.
real.
No. That's next level.
This is gonna be fun.
That sounds like an episode of Rick and Morty or something. Or Boondocks or something.
Boondocks.
It should have been an episode of Boondocks. So there is basically an underground railroad that predates Harriet Tubman, where Black people basically created free communities in Florida before it became a part of the U.S.
Oh, okay.
And to flee slavery fully, because they were already in free Black communities, but they were like, actually, I want out, and they fled to the Bahamas. And there is a community in the Bahamas that is made up almost like entirely of former enslaved people.
So they're like the Maroons in the Bahamas.
Yes.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? So I'm gonna give y'all some facts and figures, but I think there's a bigger there's a couple of conversations. But first of all, I'm gonna ask y'all, I'm gonna pose a question. Is Florida the South?
Is it?
Is it the South?
Yeah, it's the South.
I have a whole thing, but I want to hear people's. Why do you think it's the South? Just because of like location?
Yeah, and just conceptually, like they very southern. What do you mean?
This is.
Yeah, they
I have
very
an
southern.
argument there, but go ahead.
Geographically, I'm going to say yes, and I think that's the safest answer. They are definitely the South. As someone from the West Coast, I'm just going to say that's the South.
Okay.
right.
She's like, I'm gonna stay out of
Better
it.
say,
So
yeah, I'm going to stay
I'm gonna
neutral.
stay over here.
I will say they are southern. I think similar to you. Geographically the South, but I don't consider them to be southern.
I think I know where
Why?
you're going with this. Because you can only go so far down before it starts to get super Caribbean and
Right.
everything else.
Well, that's not where I was going. Actually.
All right.
But that's true. I think
But now you
I
got
think
me.
that-
once you like make the panhandle turn,
Right.
it's
Just under Orlando, everything under Orlando.
Right.
right. Yeah.
And there is a part of Miami that we like include. When I think of the South, my brain says like deep South, and I don't consider Florida to be part of that culturally.
Really?
I do consider like places like Jacksonville to be part of the deep South, but then
Tallahassee.
again,
Yeah,
but
that-
again,
but that's like that still that like
Yeah,
the
that's-
roundabout that little.
but then once you
Still
pass that
I-10.
panhandle, then it's
Still
like, it's like I don't know what to tell you.
and it's also like
Love
interesting
to
because isn't that
Floridians,
where like
but-
the Georgia and North Carolina lines are? Like it's closer to Tallahassee and Jacksonville. So
Yeah.
like that's where the culture. It's like if you ever in like the Florida Panhandle, people are like I'm just Alabama. I'm really just Floribama. You ever heard of Floribama?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just Alabama.
But Miami, outside of the black part of Miami, I'm just like,
But even that is like heavily Haitian and Jamaican influence. And,
Us too.
Yeah, us too.
But people also don't consider us to be.
Well, they got like still first generation immigrants. Historically we those things.
Yeah.
But we've been here for a little minute.
Right.
You know.
We have. So, hear me out. All very factual things, but the reason why, as I'm going to talk about the Saltwater Underground Railroad, is that I was like, oh, you know why it's different is because every other southern state instituted slavery at full. And Florida, even though it became part of the Union eventually, their history predates all of that. And then they had healthy, free Black communities for almost a century. So when I think of the South, I think of the relationship between enslavement, forced native removal, and then like white supremacy. Like those three things live together. And that's what creates aspects of our Black culture, right? Black culture comes from our resilience and the ability to like overcome enslavement. And then that obviously then you have the Great Migration and then Black people moved and our culture adjusted. But like when I think of the South, can a Southern state not have slavery? Like that, because otherwise the Civil War, it was all about the South having slavery, right? So if it, you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So I need you to go ahead.
I think when we, let me find my words.
Find it.
Right.
I think of the phrase like our history and our culture doesn't start with slavery. But when we got here, that's how they start. So that's why I think
that's why I
of
say
like
the South, though.
Yeah,
not Black history,
but specifically this, I guess so.
So I need more context on the years because you said 100 years predating. So give me some parameters.
So first of all, like I said, I'm gonna read my little facts up to because there's a lot here. First of all, this could be a thesis. If anybody out here in the world needs a thesis, this is the one.
Yeah.
But so first of all, it predates. So back in 1850 is when the Fugitive Slave Act started, right? And that's when Harriet Tubman and many other abolitionists really started promoting the Underground Railroad, getting African Americans or formerly enslaved at the time, they weren't even called African Americans, to move north. And then hopefully maybe to Canada, maybe to somewhere else. And so, but really for the Saltwater Underground Railroad, that was 30 years before that.
Okay.
And then there were Black Seminoles. Are y'all familiar with Black Seminoles?
I'm familiar with that.
Yes. So Black Seminoles came from freed communities of color who worked with Native Seminole people to create their own communities at least 100 years before, recorded. And in fact, when Christopher Columbus, our good friend, landed in Florida, he actually, his actual, what do you call that? The boat driver? I don't know what the word is back then. Like, was a free man of color. And then when he landed, he was like, actually, fuck Spain, and he made his own community with other free people who were on the boat.
Oh, word.
That was back in the 1500s.
Free man of color coming from Spain?
Yes.
So he was a Moor?
Yes, he was of Moorish descent.
All right.
So he was a Moor, came here on the boat with Christopher and was like, actually, I don't really ascribe to any of these beliefs.
I just needed to get out.
Right.
He's like, all right, bye.
And then all of the free people of color, because they were free people, they were not enslaved, who were on the ship actually like dipped and then moved into the swamps and the Everglades with Seminole and Native people, and then that was the beginning of free Black or Black Seminole Maroon communities. So this is way before Harriet Tubman thought about picking up a gun.
Yeah.
So you're saying like Florida didn't have the struggles of the rest of the southern states, so it
was a whole different. It was a whole. They have a whole different narrative,
and that's why they act like that.
I never knew that.
Wait a minute,
that's why
like that?
Now, if you take that as a bad thing, that's up to you.
No,
I'm just saying
but
that's why they act like that.
I mean, they do act like that.
I'm like, oh, that's why y'all buck wild.
They routed to me. They
Exactly what I'm saying.
They're very like us to me.
To me, they're wilder.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
like,
it makes me think, like, even though New Orleans, well, one, we were founded in 1718, so they 200 years almost before we were even thought of.
Yeah.
They were over here like gang, natives and Black people. But then even when Black people were here and we had a little bit of autonomy, we didn't take advantage of it, right? Because talk about Creoles and social structures and systematic racism. the free people of color, even though they were Moorish and Spanish of Spanish descent, they were like, we don't ascribe to these beliefs. Versus free people of color in Louisiana, but across the South, who had opportunity. Really, enslavement was perpetuated by other Black people, partially. Obviously, they weren't the creators of the system and maintained the structure.
But they pushed it.
And still do in some ways.
We're gonna talk about that.
Clock it.
But yeah, but to the Saltwater Underground Railroad. So basically, enslaved people from the Georgias, the Carolinas, but anyone that was on that side was like, oh, if you get to Florida, you're good.
Yeah.
And so at the time, Florida was controlled by Spain, and Florida was, the Spanish were like, girl, they ain't got nothing to do with me.
We don't care now.
I don't care. That's your problem.
That's thousands of miles away.
And because Florida was so treacherous, the white plantation owners and just white racists were like terrified to go into Florida because it was just a no man's land. And because the native people controlled it, it was more treacherous for them to enter than the other way around. And then, our good friend Andrew Jackson. Well, he went into Florida unannounced. He just was like, I'm gonna take this on because nobody else will.
Right.
And that's when you had the Black Seminole Wars. And they had at least 3 of them recorded where basically Black Seminoles beat the white people's asses, like 3 separate times. But on the third time...
Just like the Haitians.
Just like the Haitians.
And that's why they act like that. I don't mean it in a bad way, but what I mean is that like the Haitians and like the Black Seminoles are a people of action.
There you go.
Yeah,
they are people
right.
of action,
That's right.
and they generationally carry that. I will never as long as I have breath in my body, I will never cross a Haitian or a Black Seminole. Because I was like, y'all get active in a way that we don't.
They got extra active.
So I'm like, you know what, y'all?
Yeah.
You got it,
Yeah.
sis.
Yeah.
Y'all want to be Southern? Sure, girl. Actually, I'm not going. I take everything I said back.
Wait, the Florida?
I love y'all so much.
Oh, the Haitians.
Everybody.
Oh.
He's just like, just
Everybody
take it
in
back.
Florida. I love y'all so much.
I think it made me think like, obviously Florida didn't have plantations the way the rest of the South did.
Right.
So obviously there's different levels of power and structure, but like, it makes me think like even though there were slave revolts, we still, that's why we have, House, you got Uncle Tom's, we got our good friend Clarence Thomas working against the people on the, he wakes up and says, how can I choose violence against my own people? So what is it that's missing, right? That between like Florida in their Black history and then like the rest of the South?
I think part of it is the access and the ease to, for lack of a better word, to freedom. It was just a lot easier. So it was easier for those people to be like, you know what, we can actually make this thing happen. Like, it's in our backyard. We live next door to what freedom looks like, even for those people like close to the coast of that part of Florida.
Yeah.
And here, and I guess in other places where that racism was a lot more, and that structural racism in terms of like enslavement was a lot more institutionalized and like codified.
Yeah.
It was harder.
There was
Harriet
no way out.
Harriet was like, we have to leave at night. Shut that, almost cursed. Shut that fucking baby up. Get in line, and we're going.
Right.
No, you can't. You started the journey. We have to finish it because I refuse to leave you behind.
But it made me critique, or maybe Harriet Tubman had no idea, because the Underground Railroad and the Saltwater Underground Railroad overlapped
separate
for about 50 years.
Okay, 50 or 15?
Like 50 years.
Okay.
So the Underground Railroad, well, no, actually I take that back. It was like about 10 years.
Okay.
So 1830 to 1865 was the height of the Underground Railroad, the height of it. So it was still happening, but not as we know it today. But the Saltwater Underground Railroad was from like 1821 to 1865. So there was overlap.
Yeah.
There's a lot of overlap, right? And I'm thinking to myself, why would, if I knew that, oh wait, I can have real freedom by getting to the Bahamas, and then from the Bahamas you can get to the UK, you can get to other islands, you can get, because at that point slavery was banned in the UK, but we kept going north as if slavery just like racism ends at the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where like
Maybe it was that fear of Florida. If Harriet came and grabbed me and was like, "Come with me," and I went to the Florida Everglades,
And
I
not
don't
been
know,
like,
but then
Harriet,
you
girl.
got to go through multiple southern states. You got to get through white, slave catchers,
But I think
and
maybe
there's still
because,
swamps. And
but I think maybe because there was like, again, this is me hypothesizing. I was
this is
not
all
there.
we're
I
just
wasn't
discussing.
there.
Yeah,
no.
But maybe when you got dropped off the East Coast and sent to the different places, you're like, okay, I see what the terrain looks like. The swamps, even our swamps, and I know the swamps of Florida look terrifying. They look terrifying. And so I was like, you know what? I've seen these mountains and these hills and these valleys and this forest up north.
yeah. It was hardcore. I think
That
to
feels-
do the Florida trek was a hardcore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where y'all would have gone?
That's a good question. I would have made it to Mexico. There was a whole underground railroad from Louisiana to Mexico.
Yeah, I think.
But like just thinking about it, how would you know down
How
there?
would you know where
yeah,
to go?
like where would
Someone
you?
would have
just trying
had to
get the fuck.
educate you to
Yeah.
like even know where to go. Right, and that's what I'm saying. Did Harriet Tubman did no one ever tell her that Florida was an option?
Or she just was like, I know niggas
know-
here.
I know this
and,
trek.
And white people. Here and here and here and here and here and here and here. I have this plan
have a
already
network.
done.
Yeah.
I was part of this like Combi River War tactic thing where we went through and like bombed and burned the things down, plantations. So I already have like a path to resistance going up north. This way to Florida is new for me. I'm going to stick to the lakes and rivers that I'm used to and not chase these waterfalls in the Florida Everglades.
Literally the Florida Everglades.
Right. And so she was just like, and I think if I was there at that time, people heard about what she was doing.
Yeah.
People people who were enslaved
Well, that's
were
why they
like,
wanted to kill her, and that's why they wanted she had wanted posters.
exactly.
Yeah,
And the enslaved was like, girl, Harriet coming tomorrow. And I'd be like, I'm going with Harriet.
yeah, I'm gonna at least try.
Because she did it.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. So like, want me to go with you? To the Florida Everglades, girl? What is that?
Well, speaking of, I want to add more context to it because I think it is an interesting story. So so again, the Black Seminoles helped them, which is a maroon community, right? So the Native Seminoles were still there. Then they had the Black Seminoles that integrated and intermarried, and they lived there, and they worked together to help get enslaved people out of Florida. Right. But what was interesting is that the how do I put it? Once you got to the coast, so from like Miami, the Everglades, St. Augustine, you had to build a boat. So it was intense. You had to build a boat, or you had a canoe that they gave you, and then you had to go like 500 miles off the coast, and then land safely into the Bahamas.
Yeah. Harriet, ring on the Harriet phone, please.
Yeah, no, it's intense, but I think it's to your point about. I think one of you said it about the freedom being so close. Is that so? One of the last Black Seminole War that happened, they were mad at Andrew Jackson for like just coming in here unannounced and trying to kill people. So 385 slaves left their physical plantations to go fight on behalf of the Black Seminoles.
Or
This is a crazy story. I've
Yeah.
never heard of like, you just get up and leave. I'm like, actually, plantation, I'm leaving.
Right.
Like, good luck. I'm not coming back. I have to go fight a war. That's not even my war, technically.
yeah,
But they got up, and this is in Georgia and the Carolinas, and they got up and they
went and
then they
left,
went
yeah.
and fought. And that was also like, America was like, wait, what? This is not, we didn't sign up for this. And they fought so hard that this guy named, he was like the hero, John Horse. He was a Black Seminole. He was the leader of this war. Negotiated with the American government to say, one, you're going to acknowledge us as free people. So they got all of this. They got acknowledgement of free people. They also got the ability to migrate, because they were basically like, okay, you can have Florida at this point. We're not going to keep fighting 3 wars, another
Right.
war and another war.
Over the
So
swamp.
they said, let us go to free native land, because they were still considered native in Oklahoma. And they also, they basically were like, they didn't go to jail for fighting against the government. So they did all that. They migrated from the Florida Everglades to Oklahoma, period. And were free. But then, this is the crazy part, is that other native people started attacking them. We're like, whoa, where'd y'all come from? Y'all can't just settle. And there's a whole nother conversation there
Yeah.
around that, which we'll get to. We're gonna put that in the parking lot. And then the Black Seminole people said, actually, F all that, I'm just going to Mexico. And Spain offered them access to go move to Mexico and basically gain their Mexican citizenship.
Work.
And then, yeah, they did all that. So, but the other Black people who stayed, who were like, well, I don't want to go to Mexico or Oklahoma, they went to Bahamas. And so with the canoes and the ships, over 6,000 people recorded to get to the Bahamas.
Work.
6,000 people. Yeah. Oh, I said 500 miles. I don't know where I'm getting my numbers from today. It's 154 miles. You can edit that out.
Okay. That's like Hit Baton Rouge. No, it's not.
No, it's
That's
not.
longer. Whoa.
More like Alexandria.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Like Alexandria?
Lake Charles.
Lake Charles?
My degree's in
3
biology,
hours.
not in
I know that's right.
geography. So
Yeah, so like, is it like a day on the boat? Like, you know, it's
Oh
a
my
sailing
God.
day.
Yeah.
It's a sailing day.
a little
On the
yacht
boat,
trip.
for sure.
We love.
Because it's manpower, they ain't got no motors. So.
Yeah, so it's like you gotta,
Yeah.
Oh.
and you gotta know where you're going too. Like you have
You
to.
gotta
But
follow
imagine
the
you just
stars.
getting the fuck. It's just like, actually,
Right.
I don't care.
Talk
I've
about
got all that.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Pure adrenaline.
Pure adrenaline. Like this is it. This is your moment.
With all that
Because
adrenaline,
there's no
that's
turning back. Like once you're
weirder.
on the edge of Florida,
Memory
you're on
shit.
that
I
beach.
was-
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Then there's a whole world like out there of free Black people. Just I was like, dang, I've never been to the Bahamas, but now I really want to go.
Yeah.
After that, yes.
Yeah.
Story, yeah.
I've
Where's
been to
Rihanna from?
Bimini. I've been to Bimini. I didn't know they had that many islands.
Yeah.
The Bahamas got almost 700 islands.
Wow.
Where's
didn't know
Rihanna?
that.
It does.
Rihanna, she's from Barbados.
She's from
Oh.
Barbados. No, sorry.
Wrong Caribbean
Close.
island.
Both
Yeah.
B's.
Whoa. My degree's in what?
Teaching. Yeah, you heard.
My
I was like,
degrees
I'm
in
sorry.
I'm
We need to
not
do
biology.
geography class.
teaching geography.
Like,
I said, where is that again?
It's okay because
It is.
ask me about vaccines and I got you.
Oh,
that's
okay.
right. Up
He's
next.
like, I have the important facts.
Exactly. Well, not the important facts. I have different facts.
Different facts. So yeah, so 6,000 people went to what they call the Andros Islands
Okay.
or the Red Bay. I've never been to either one of them, but now I want to go. So yeah, so basically this is the last thing I'll end on is that Great Britain and the U.S. were like they were squaring up because they're like they wanted all the 6,000 people to go back to the U.S. I mean, yeah. And Great Britain was like, "Oh, girl, no, we're not doing that. Did you give us America back?
Right.
So
Didn't y'all throw our tea?
did you throw our tea off a boat?
Right. Remember all that money?
So actually,
Making enough. Stupid. With your bitch ass.
So yeah.
So you still going.
I'm sorry. I'm done.
So they were like, no, they're fine. They're good. And the U.S. even threatened war. Like, you need to give us these people back. They're like, girl, no. Yeah. Eventually, U.S. got over it because they realized we do have a lot of slaves here, actually. You know. But yeah, I just feel like, to me, first of all, that's not the story we know of Florida. Like,
I knew no story of Florida. I never thought about Florida history.
Tea.
Ever.
never.
You know
No,
what I mean?
not even.
Yeah.
But I've
Yeah.
never. Yeah.
I mean, I just think of Florida in the modern sense, and like, especially around politics. I feel like politics in Florida is all you ever think about.
Far
Especially
back as
right
I
now.
go at Rosewood. That's
What is Rosewood?
the town that they burnt up.
Oh yes, I heard of
remember
Rosewood.
that.
That's right. It was I have heard of it.
Well,
Yeah. I just think of that in Miami, and then how Miami's
And
like
Florida man, Rosewood, Miami, Florida man. I don't think of
Yeah.
anything else.
So, but is Florida man just like another version of like we just do what we want to do in Florida,
See?
and we just it's
That's
just a
why
part of that
they
culture of like
act like
rogue, We don't
Yep.
care.
Florida man, insert incident. Like that's just
Just pick a date.
Pick
yeah.
a day. Yeah.
Just
yeah.
pick a date.
And so I just make, so one, I kept asking this question. There's a few questions I had and I want to pose to y'all. Besides, is Florida, because now I'm like, well, Florida isn't the South because there's layers of Black history here that is over, like, as long
Yeah.
as slavery existed. Christopher Columbus came here and then like Black history started in Florida. And I'm like, well, why don't we ever tell the story? Because we talk about Nat Turner, right? And talk about the slave revolts. But like, what's interesting to me is as I was reading it, I was like, it's a deep dive. Essentially, there's two stories here about Black people successfully navigating waters. Because that was the first thing I thought of, because we always think of the story is told that our ancestors got here on a boat. We didn't have no free will. We didn't know what we were doing. Oh, it's a boat. I've never seen a boat a day in my life.
Yeah, we can't swim.
And we can't swim.
And we're some of the best swimmers. We start surfing.
Yeah.
We navigate those waters.
We can't swim.
off
We just
Africa.
out here
that's a whole
flailing.
That is a whole nother thing.
Yeah, we're just out here flailing. We're at no will of our own, and then we just show up and like, oh my God, white people, never seen them before. And then there's a whole history of Black Moors, right, which is a whole nother episode. But then they came here, literally navigating Christopher Columbus's ship, and then said, actually, we're going to make our own free Black community because we sick of y'all too.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of this story. And then they even though they weren't enslaved themselves, helped other enslaved people from other places get to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Like, it's a story of triumph. Like, I think Hollywood, I'm not a Hollywood, I've never worked or lived in LA, but like, I always think of it as they only want the most depressing Black story, right?
Correct.
Yes.
They only want the story of us being, you know.
They're positioning the brand a certain way. So,
Right.
yep.
Yeah. And then there's the other story there. So there's three things here. Us actually conquering the waters successfully, even with a makeshift boat.
Which is like not foreign if you understand the history.
Right.
Coming straight out of Africa, we are aquatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, that's why
of
they have
course
Mami Watas, right? Like that
Yes.
we are aquatic people.
Come on, Queen of Water.
But then so you have that, and then you have the history that's longer, successful Black liberation stories. And then there's a story there that frustrates me about the Native peoples outside of Florida who were like, we don't know y'all. And it frustrates me that the story of Indigenous people and the story of Black people overlap so much, but we can never seem to build our power together.
Yeah.
And the Black Seminoles would have been a perfect place for Native people of Oklahoma because they were also seeking liberation.
Right.
To be like, y'all did this, y'all got the
Teach
government
us,
to acknowledge
right.
you, teach me your ways.
So we can do it together.
And then they kicked them out, or attempted to kick them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is heavy. But it's not, I feel like it's not that heavy though, right?
Yeah.
It ain't heavy.
Yeah,
It ain't heavy.
yeah. So what do y'all think?
I mean, all this makes sense about Florida being an outlier. They've always been an outlier state. Culture, the whole nine.
Yeah.
You know, makes total sense. Definitely surprised though, did not know it happened like that.
No.
Yeah.
But it
I
makes
no clue.
perfect sense that we don't know. And there it is.
I think that there is, I revised my original statement. I will give Black Floridians,
Yes.
Being specific
yes.
here.
Black Floridians.
And maybe Indigenous, because they were down with the cause. Or well,
Black
Some
Floridians
overlap.
and
Some
Indigenous
overlap.
Floridians, I will give them the claim of being the South and Southern. Because there is, in those stories, excuse me, I hear like Black innovation, Black ingenuity, Black taking what is mine.
Autonomy.
Yeah,
Autonomy.
because like in the same way, not in the same way, but in similar ways that we did here.
yeah.
In the same ways that they did in Birmingham,
Yeah.
in the same ways they did in Selma, in the same ways they did in Augusta, in Atlanta. I've been watching the Magic City docu-series
Yes.
on
Yeah.
Stars.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have stars.
You should
It's
get it.
it's solid.
Okay.
It's solid. But I was like, oh, there is like we are going to create a thing for us here whether that be genres of music, whether that be this club format, whether that be head wraps that we did. We didn't make them, but that we like used them and innovated them down here.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, there is a thread. Y'all are cousins. And so I got to give y'all that. So I will say Black Floridians and Indigenous Floridians, I'll give y'all the South and the Southern.
The stamp of approval.
Phlegm stamp of
I
approval.
still stand on that. I still
So you feel like you stand on it harder now.
Yeah.
Because now I know.
Now it's
I'm like,
official.
Now it's official.
Now we know.
Because I mean, look at us though. We are a Southern anomaly.
We are.
You know, we are the most Northern Caribbean.
And we are
island
people
at
of
that.
water too, like the way Floridians are.
So that's why I understand them. You
Yeah.
know, they look like us. They're good at sports like us. They gold teeth. Like, you know,
Yeah.
music, all that.
It disappoints me though that, like all of us, I had to do research to find this out, and the fact that to me the Black stories of Florida are Afro-Caribbean stories.
Yep.
We think of, you said Haiti, you think of other Caribbean islands, Trinidad and Tobago and the Bahamas, and obviously Bahamas is a part of that, but like it's strictly Caribbean history.
yeah.
And I for a long time I didn't think that there were Black people in Florida. Like it took me like to get to college, but they got Black people that are, but
Well,
because
that's what I knew.
they control the narrative of Florida so much
Yeah.
that's not all you ever think about.
I wonder if they know our stories in that same way.
I think they do.
Okay.
Yeah,
just
when I was on
like,
tour, I met a few Black natives, if you will. They were Creek though.
Yeah.
They were Creek, and when they told me that was Native, I'm like, man, you look like my cousin.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
like I was like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing what we know about down here about, the Black masking Indians, and then the little bit I got about the Seminoles, it made sense to me.
But I guess my question is not to like fault ourselves for being like, we should have known about. I wonder if they have the same, do they know the history of Black masking Indians? Like,
Probably not.
and so
No,
to
I
me,
don't
it
think
is just
so.
like these are super specific local. I'm sure that if you ask people in Florida, they could tell you, yeah, girl, it's oop de oop de oop and wop de wop de wop.
Yeah, they probably got some stuff with them
And so,
too.
everybody has their own little like local lore.
But that's not what's elevated though. Like
I mean,
in
who's the
popular
elevated though? Like, you know what I'm saying?
We
Like,
don't control we don't control the
that
narrative because we
whole
don't control the
that
systems.
whole sentiment to be frustrated and it's not elevated. You're speaking to a whole nother thing when you're talking about that, right? And it's our responsibility to amplify it the moment we get it in our hands. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to take control of that autonomy yet again. Like
Right.
you had that got to be across the board, especially in 2025 and beyond. This far along, we know what the history of the suppression is.
Yeah.
So what's the anti? What is the opposite reaction to that?
It's up to us now to focus on that.
It's always up to us. It's always ever been up to us. It's been up to us from the beginning. We the one that had to figure out how to grow rice down here. They couldn't grow shit. Excuse my French. But
Don't water it down.
yeah.
I didn't mean it like that. It came off as like more
that what
facetious.
it's at?
It came off as more facetious than I
We the
meant.
answers.
The timing was good.
My point
It was
is,
there though. You were
Yeah.
close.
we always the answer. We
Yeah.
always the answer. I don't care what you're talking about. We always the answer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I just wish I'm not disagreeing with yes, and it's like how do we get the vast majority of our people to understand that though?
it's a candlelight effect. So when you say vast majority, you're saying boil the ocean. And you can't do it like that. You got to pull the pots everywhere. And you got to find ways to multiply the small thing because acorns grow to be oak trees, but you got to be an acorn first.
Yeah.
So when you start looking at it like how we get everybody to know, you're going to smell. It's almost like trying to eat a shrimp sandwich today and then you're going on a water fast tomorrow. You can't move like that. You're going to have a knee-jerk reaction after 7 days. And you're gonna be back on shrimp sandwiches again. The mission gonna be.
Wait, how
I
do we
feel
get the
like
shrimp
that's
sandwiches?
like that for a fact.
Yeah.
No, I was like, yeah, you're right.
Like,
Shit.
I
was
was
like,
the mission gonna be too heavy.
That
Is
was
my
too
point.
specific.
You know what I'm saying?
I was like,
Happened
wait,
before.
The
what?
mission gonna be too heavy.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no.
You
I'm
can't
still
grow-
stuck on the shrimp sandwich and then a water fast. Then I'm sorry.
My point is, you can't take on too much at one time.
Yeah.
I went to public school. You got to explain it to
I
me.
went there
I
too.
got
You
it.
can't get everybody to know.
Mhm.
It has to. It got to be. you got to know how to distribute it. You know what I'm saying? And the people who do that have to know better, and it shouldn't be a question of how. We
Yeah.
know exactly how.
Yeah.
We should know how, and the
I think
person that
that
knows
just
how
comes
need
from
to tell 10
frustration.
people.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You
That's what
gotta
I'm saying.
understand his patience, and yes, I agree.
And that should be the creed. That should be the standard of our community, to understand how to replicate the things that we need. We shouldn't be scratching our head. Oh, we got this problem over there. Well, how we fix it? Man, how we fixed everything else? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, this is a good segue. Thank you. I love a good segue when I don't have to do the weird segue.
all right.
Because one thing that I kept thinking about is we have a partner. So obviously I'm here and we work in water, and there's people out here that work in water. But there's an organization called Black and Marine Science. Have you ever heard of them before?
No.
This is right in my.
This story, immediately when I first started reading it, it made me think of her organization, because we just don't, like you said, the fear, the idea that has been put on us that we don't mix with water. Like Black people, Black Americans aren't supposed to be involved in water activities and water sports, right? And obviously that's rooted in Jim Crow, and we couldn't be in the pools.
Branding.
My Dorothy Dandridge, my long lost cousin, you know, like all of that, those stories has been ingrained in us, in our DNA.
Chicken,
even.
watermelon, you name it.
She your long lost cousin?
I don't know if she is, but we both have bandages.
Like, wait a damn
Like
minute.
put that in
You
there.
like how I put that in
Yeah,
there? But the I love Black and Marine Science because it every time I talk to her, she's like, when I'm gonna get you out in the water? I said, girl, I'm scared. I'm scared of sharks. And she's like, they're not gonna bother you. That's what you said. But then Shark Week said otherwise.
Oh my God. The branding has got you too, I see.
The branding got me. But even me, who I work in water,
Yeah.
I'm afraid. I'm terrified of the ocean. Like, I mean, I can dip my feet in there, and I can swim good. Like, if you put me in a pool, I'm good. But I'm so scared of the ocean.
Yeah.
So when to think that like 6,000 Black people made this trek over with not knowing where they're going. There was no GPS. Google Maps didn't exist. There was no
map.
compass.
Let me stop.
Yeah, when you got fire under your ass.
that's
though,
what I'm
you-
saying. That
Yeah.
don't mean anything.
That don't mean nothing.
Imagine.
Like
It's
you
like,
tap
fuck it, I'll
into
take
something.
this.
You
Exactly.
tap in, your instincts kick in, and that's when you really start becoming one with the environment, like we always been.
That's
And
right.
you survived so much worse. The
Yeah.
shit that was behind you,
That's
the shit
right.
you running from. You
Right.
know what
It
I
was
mean?
worth it.
What's the option?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the option?
Right. And then now they're living in the Bahamas and doing
Period.
right. And that's so I just wanted to shout out Black Marine Science because I think the point is that there is what we just said is there is a way forward.
Yeah.
There is a way to heal from it, but we just, again, you just got to keep telling those stories. And I love that she's a Black woman.
Yeah.
And I love that, you know.
I love that her last name is Moore.
And it's more. And she's a
my
doctor.
little,
She's
my
not
little
just-
Koofy Hotep
Look
hat
at this.
on.
She's not a little bit older than me, I think. It's kind of like a few
Word.
years. Yeah. She's in the 30s, maybe. I don't know. Tierra, if she's watching this, if she watches, please correct me. But I think we're around the same age.
Wow, so young. That's
Yeah.
good.
So, any reflections on this before we close out?
We the best.
We're not quoting DJ Khaled anymore.
Yeah,
No,
I get it.
that was there you go. Well,
We gotta
that's
find a
whole
new
nother
word.
conversation.
I get
That's
it.
a whole
I
new
get it.
conversation.
I
We
get
the
it.
ones, as the kids say.
Yeah, we the one. We the one.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it's another reinforcement. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in us. We could do it. We've done it before. Let's just do it 10 times more, for real.
But back to your point about not boiling the ocean, but creating those little pots.
Start where you at.
It's starting again back with 10 and 10 people here and 10 people there.
McDonald's had one location. Now look out.
Yeah, and
So
they've changed the food industry.
that's what
Well,
I'm saying. Same for Walmart. So those are always my references. Like when you need an example, go to one. There's plenty of them, and that's really how you got to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you think, Ryan? How do you get your kids involved in Black Marine Science? The chuckle under the breath.
Throw water on.
I'm not throwing water on the kids.
Now that I know that it exists, it's a lot easier for me to like integrate it into what I'll be doing in my
And there's more
classroom.
video. I showed y'all the
Yeah.
real,
No, but I think like that was like a great like, you know, I can't get the word out, but
but how do we get our kids to be in the water?
To get in the water?
Like to swim. Do y'all swim?
Yes.
I'm not a teacher.
Yeah.
I know how to swim. Yeah.
No, but do your kids, like, is that integrated into their school programming? Like, do
No.
y'all,
Well,
It
because
wasn't
like,
in
well,
school. School
because
don't got access to
the
pools.
thing is like, schools having swim programs requires either A, access directly at your schools to a
Correct.
pool, or 2, partnerships with some organization that like is willing to let y'all get in the pool. My
Like
high school
YMCAs
had
and
a
stuff
swim.
like that, right?
We only got one now.
Right. My high school had a swim team, but it's because we were attached to Tulane.
Yep.
And so
Oh.
Tulane allowed us to have one. But where I teach at now, we don't have a partnership.
Not even
with-
with Nord, because that's where all the pools are, the public pools, that is.
Correct.
And
But
all our main open.
yeah, but then like, and also there's like funding that has to be delivered. And then someone on that side has to deem it necessary and worthy enough to even dream up partnering with the school.
Right.
In order to
which
do
means
that.
what though?
Which means
that's
that
right,
like it's a thing that we would have to like make that. And
We got to do
Yeah.
it.
I'm
Oh,
not
and
saying
this
that
is low-hanging
we
fruit,
that
I
we
think.
absolutely
It's low hanging
Absolutely.
fruit.
Low-hanging-
We have public pools that
low-hanging
are
fruit.
we the
can't
people of
think of the
Orleans
name.
Parish own these pools.
Correct.
There's an organization that's all about teaching kids how to swim.
There's
all
Black
over
Girls
it.
Swim. I know locally.
There is. I've
There
heard
is. I
about
can't.
it.
It's a aquatic something, but I get the newsletters every
Yeah.
day, and it's like a. There's even a national day of like Black Swim or like something like that
Yeah,
too.
we need to get. I just think because when we do the climate work, we're trying to get young kids out into green space. Like you said, I have to pay for it, or my partners have to pay for it because the schools don't have any money for it.
Correct.
And then the schools, it's even harder because then you have to like coordinate buses and school trips, and this day is a testing day and that day is a testing day. So when you finally get them out there, but I love to do that because you see the kids just their whole world changes.
Yeah.
There's
And
always
it's-
the weekend too.
Yeah.
I will also say at the high school level, at least, it is unfortunate that this is always the case, but this is the world that we live in. You have to pay them. Like that is a great incentive.
Pay the kids?
Yeah.
Nah, fam.
No, because
To
like
go,
Nah,
to do
fam.
what?
no,
To do
to
what?
do like no to do no, but also like
But if I'm paying them, then you don't learn gratitude, and you think that because
So maybe high school's too late. Maybe maybe it is something that's middle school.
But
or
here is the reality in which these children like they live. This is like a real lived world these kids live in.
right.
Things cost money.
I know your point. I agree
Like
with
Yeah.
there are things that cost money, and there are kids who are like, I would love to do this thing,
you.
but I have to work. So if you want me to stop working after school in order to
What I'm
go
talking
to
about doing
this,
it in school.
now doing it in school is a harder sell because again, it requires like a lot of coordination.
it should be younger. Because I believe like once you hit high school, you
It's
got
your
you
mind is
formed
made.
out.
It's
It's my hair.
fundamental.
It's I gotta work. It's
fundamental.
fundamental.
But
Yeah.
for middle school at least, then the onus has to fall on the parents in order to make this thing
And
happen.
what's wrong with that?
Then
Again,
we're gonna have a set of problems at each.
no,
but,
I know, no, but
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is that like these are some of the things that if we want these things to happen
Yeah.
the way that we want them to, these are considerations of this is what the world looks like if we want to give access to children that we want to give access to. I didn't have a job in high school because my parents didn't allow us to work. So in high school, if I told my parents I want to join this like swim program and do this like scuba certification thing where I'm leaving school in the middle of the day or going to school after the end of the day, my parents would have figured it out, but they also worked jobs where that was a lot easier for them to do.
Yeah.
And not that those children don't deserve access to those things, but those children always get access to a lot of these like programs that are the things that can move children through like social class levels. The kids I have a student whose mom works at Rouse's.
Yeah.
And so to come to school to talk to me about her kid's behavior, she had to leave work.
Yeah. I feel that.
And so for me to ask her to get him to do a thing, whether he was in elementary school, middle school, or in high school, she's actively losing money. That is a hard sell for her. But if someone's like, hey, we have a job for like Johnny, and part of his job is like, we're going to get him scuba certified, and we're going to like link him up with like marine biology programs for his like to set him up post high school.
Yeah.
We're going to pay him to come to these trainings, pay him to teach him how to swim,
and earn credits.
and
too.
like and even though it is like, yes, it is frustrating to like feel as though we rob children of the idea of gratitude. I don't work for free.
But can I add though, because I worked for the city's youth program, where the summer program. I worked for like 2 different summer camps where the kids got paid and we taught them things, right? Whatever. And it's supposed to be like job readiness stuff, but some of it was extracurricular. And that didn't work. The kids didn't care. They actually cared less because they knew that if they showed up and they were there they knew X amount of hours. They're smart. They're like, if I'm here for 6 hours, they got to pay me whatever X amount of, I forgot what it was, however many dollars a day, $30 a day, $20 a day. And they were completely disengaged. And so what, to Denisia's point, like, you have to start them earlier. But that gratitude, if you're not in the room because you want to be there, if you're not in the room because you want to feel inspired, you're just in the money to collect the check, which I understand the need for that. But you're robbing yourself of inspiration. You're robbing yourself also of gratitude. And also as someone who works in nonprofit my whole life, like, it has a weird dichotomy because the kids are thinking to me like, you got all the money, sis. I'm like, I work for a nonprofit. Like, there's no money here to be had. So they're looking at me as if I'm holding levers of power. And they're thinking, well, you have the money, so you can just, they start to think of nonprofits who put programs on like this as if we're corporations. Yeah. And we're just handing out a check. So it dehumanizes the workers, and it actually, in fact, dehumanizes them because they only see themselves as a product and an asset, and they walk away with a check. And so no one gains. No one walks away. I felt unfulfilled. They felt unfulfilled. In fact, they felt angry. Because what they were really angry at is the failure of the system.
And to me, when I hear that sounds to me, and this is no offense to that program, that sounds to me like a program that did not build in some of those things on the front end to ensure that these kids are actually, like, I hate the phrase deliverable because it's comes from like corporate world, but part of it is like, if I don't do my job, I don't get paid. Thanks. Like, it is my job to teach children. And if I'm not teaching them effectively or doing my job, they're like, we'll find somebody else. And so part of it is like, hey, in order for us to teach you this work ethic, because I also think that some of that gets lost when we don't do that. Hey, we need you to come here and you have to do this, and this on these days, sign into this person, check in with this person. And it is our job as the adults on that side end to be like, hey, Johnny, you haven't done this, and this. This is our first warning. This is the second warning. And unfortunately, you get written up. You don't do it. You lose the ability to do this 100%, thing. 100%. I think sometimes when we have the idea of like, if you are not in the room because you don't want to be there, sometimes I do want to be there, but I literally have to work. Mm-hmm. There was a kid who wants to do this like graphic design apprenticeship. He's like, I really want to because I love graphic design and I've done this stuff at school, but I have to work. Yeah. And this internship only lasts for 6 months. Mm-hmm. And when it's up, if I quit my current job to do this with y'all for 6 months, when this is up, what is my next step? Yeah. I can't just jump back to my old job and be like, bring me back, please. Mm.
So either way, either age range is going to be a battle, but which one is more conquerable when they're younger and we don't have to worry about all that, but now we have to worry about the parents being able to.
That's right. And so I think when they're in high school, there is a little bit more of an ease of them showing up consistently. Because when you get little kids and parents have to bring them, it becomes a lot shakier. And then now you have kids who are coming like,
all I can think about is the failure of the system because, again, white children don't have to even think remotely about where my next meal is going to come from. Yeah. And then that is a whole arc of, like, white kids having access to these programs because their parents are working jobs. And not just white kids, kids of a certain class. Right. I want to just, because there's rich black kids, there's rich Hispanic, Asian, etc. Wealthy, or just not even wealthy, middle class, stable kids that can do these things. And then it makes me mad about what recently happened with affirmative action, right? Getting overturned. And your reality is not the reality that was presented in front of the Supreme Court. Right. Like the kids' stories who are like, I have to work to get my next meal because my parents, or I could do this extracurricular program, but then I won't eat. Right. But that's not what's put in
front of the people who are making
who make these decisions. Yeah. But what is put in front of people that make decisions are the kids that that have access to all of the programs, but lack character maybe, or maybe lack, tenacity to like the get up and go that the kids that you're talking about do have.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes me, it proves over and over again, you talk about autonomy, how it's been robbed of us. We can't even think about where we want to be because we're thinking about the now. We're thinking about what I have to do within the next hour to 24 hours just to survive.
Right.
And that's not it makes me sad because there's no solution here other than like the system is broken.
Correct. And then our job is to work within the system to try to, I don't know.
They got other solutions.
What's the other solution?
Y'all ain't ready to break no rules though.
Just steal, just break into the pools.
Flip the table over.
Just break in the pool.
You got to move some tables around. You got to move some tables around.
But what is a concrete example of? Because to his point, it seems insurmountable, and I know it's not. But what is the solution?
Yeah.
Like, what is your table flip over?
It starts with a collective consciousness first. It requires a group to even want to change at the same level of intensity and at the same time. And being somebody that works in entertainment, we so immersed in entertainment and being marketed towards and stuff like that, and like anesthetizing ourselves in comfort shows and comfort outings at the end of the week because my work week was so bad. It's going to take a whole lot of withdrawing from current society to handle our business. It's almost like how you got to shut everything down to get your money together. Mm-hmm. That's what we need collectively. It starts there. And then the plan makes more sense there. Then it's not a far reach for us to pool together a bunch of parents who's in teaching to start with a small school for us, and if not during the week, on the weekend, to catch them up on reading scores. There's a whole lot of alternatives to it. And then there's also, take it to the street, burn some shit down,
Burn stuff down like what?
Whatever got to get burnt, bro. Depending on the day. You understand what I'm saying? Just look at the world. Change happens through what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How you get somebody off your ass? You get them off your ass. Mm-hmm. Whatever they look like, And there's no pretty example of that. You can't name one. All that we talked about in Florida.
Like with the Black Seminoles, it wasn't pretty. They had to fight three wars.
Right. That's the only way change happens. Be recognized. You got to, again, move some tables. So there's no pretty example of it. And it's easy to say, well, I don't know what we could do besides change the system from within, because nothing really can move like that. You know what I'm saying? But you really got to be like, man, football don't exist this year. You got to be like, I ain't worried about the Oscars or the next season of Love Island.
Are we willing to cancel Mardi Gras to make a point?
But also, listen, I will say, never mind.
Say it now.
This is that football example. I know I keep focusing on the money part, but this is the lived reality of my students. Mm-hmm. If you cancel football for a year, these kids are like, these colleges are not coming to see me. I'm not getting a scholarship. I'm not going to college. I'm not getting a degree. That's
a part of the sacrifice. You sacrifice.
I can't tell these children to sacrifice that.
It's not for you to tell them. It's a decision that's made within their home.
But I think that someone also then has to give them an alternative. That's like, if we're going
there are alternatives, but Black children are not allowed to think about those alternatives. Because white kids are not, I'm just saying, I don't want to just use white, because it's all kids. Kids of a certain class are not thinking about the football or basketball person. They're thinking about, I'm trying to get the academic scholarship or the scholarship for science or the scholarship for math, because I've been putting in hours and hours and hours of time, or music. The kids are banking on, they've been put into an area or a zone where you can only be good at a sport. Mm-hmm. Don't think about the academics. Mm-hmm. And then, because really, once that person, that scout comes, he only gonna look for one person at best, maybe two if you're lucky. Mm-hmm. So then you spent your entire 4 years of high school trying to get into college football or college basketball. You don't make it. You didn't focus on your academics. And then you look at all the kids of a certain class, you're like, well, they got in and they got scholarships. Yeah. But we have to, I agree in the sense that we're doing our youth a disservice by letting them think that it's okay to just be focused on that.
Because there's less fortunate other groups that come over here and their priority isn't pipe dream goals.
What do you mean?
There's people that come over here and from the get, you got to learn coding.
Right. There's a lot of immigrants. Like we just talked about, Caribbean. My grandfather was from Jamaica.
You know,
he didn't focus on sports.
You talking about Indians, you talking about Asians. It's all
A
type
lot
of
of
people
these
that make these
people-
things priority off the dump.
But a lot of these people who are coming over from like the Caribbean, not a lot, but a good amount of the immigrants who are coming to America that we see, they're not coming to do like menial jobs. They're coming from places where they have like degrees in nursing.
No, my grandfather had no shoes on his feet.
Not all of them.
But I'm just saying, but the vast majority, my grandfather's Jamaican.
Yeah.
Most of Jamaicans I know came from hard times.
Yeah,
hard times. And they're
There's
okay
humble
with
beginners,
working.
and that's why they come
working
over in
hard.
groups and work the system. They got their own system, not just that system. We're gonna put our system with this one. Same way they're doing right now with a lot of Hispanic families. When they all get in one house, and then one by one, we're gonna save up and get you a house. Boom. All right, we're gonna take the equity out of that and get this one a house. There's a system in place because there's a collective consciousness. Right. So the priorities have to shift within the home, within the people, within their huddle. And I don't even think we got a huddle.
We do not know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not willing to pool together, live together, unless we're going, half on a party.
So
I'm stressed out.
you see, there's actually, I feel like this conversation could probably go on about another 8 hours.
Yeah, it could.
Because I understand what you're saying, like just to rattle the children like that would be
right,
almost impossible.
But
But also,
we're getting
what
rattled daily.
That's what I'm saying.
We're
That's
getting
why I'm in
rattled
the
daily.
middle.
I mean, literally, our civil rights are like melting away in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
So you want slow burn, or you want chop? There's gonna be some stuff gonna get left in the fire.
You was gonna say chop some
heads off.
Yes, I knew. That's what I was going.
So, since we're all rattled,
I ain't rattled.
Oh well,
I'm fired up.
You can start it off, then, Court.
We about to pour up.
Yeah, because we've been talking for a while.
Okay.
So we covered a lot of ground today.
Mm-hmm.
Who we gonna pour it out to?
To
the there's a lot there.
I'm pour it out to the collective consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
The one that has been, it hasn't even died, but it's definitely buried deep, and we got to uncover it. So.
I know, Denise, you need time to process.
I do. I need a little bit of time. Y'all know I'm sensitive. I'm gonna let you do that first.
I'm gonna pour mine out to the Black Floridians, who I have formally accepted as being the South and being Southern. Love y'all so much. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yes.
Ashe.
I'll pour one out for the Moors, but also for the folks who took 10 at a time and didn't try to change everything all at once. Because I do believe that we do have those folks that were doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Second, I share everything y'all said. I think as someone who works with a lot of Indigenous people, I yearn for Indigenous Black unity in power building. Like, when I read the Black Seminoles story, I was like, why can't we duplicate this? Because Indigenous people are everywhere. Black people are everywhere. Like, what if we just woke up one day? So I just want to pour one out to the people who did make that reality happen, but also acknowledging that we got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harambe.
Harambe. Yeah. All right.
And that's Don't Water Down.
And that's Don't Water Down, y'all. This episode is brought to you by the Water Collaborative of Greater New Orleans. Make sure to subscribe on all major platforms. Thanks for listening.